I love her so much.
Cutesy bootsy.
I know she.
No. Hey. That's Queendom. For context, for anyone who is listening and or watching, Arya's with Ronnie right now.
Oh, my allergies. Yeah, my mamas.
Manamanamas.
Manamanamas. Bam, bam, na, na, na.
Manamana.
Bum, ba-dum, bum. Ba-da, 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 ba-da. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Thank you. Daff keeps posting spookies. Oh, the agony.
Posting it on where? What?
Snapchat.
Oh. Damn.
I know. I'm like,
It's hard. It's hard.
because you know, I have to like skip all the stories too. Like, ew.
No, because like people will have their aesthetic setups with like a Stanley cup or like any 40-ounce tumbler with a handle and a straw, and then they'll have like a matching vape kit with like a matching bag and like their phone case matches too. And I'm just like, y'all are fucking insane, but I also 1,000,000% get that.
I remember certain things, what I was wearing.
If you tell me that you didn't listen to Clancy, like that's when I would get concerned.
No, like honestly, I just don't understand how people are giving it a 6 or 7. I genuinely do not see this album as a 6 or a 7. Maybe it's just because I am biased, but also I genuinely think this is like one of their, like I was talking to Iz about it. I was like this is her best record. Like she's like, I think this might be my favorite of theirs. And I was like,
I can see it being like, I can understand it being a 7 or 8, but I don't get the 6s or below.
Like
7
I
or
would
8
say
makes
like
sense.
Yeah, I would say like an 8 makes sense to me.
Yes.
But that's just me.
You are also,
biased.
unfortunately, incredibly biased and cannot give an objective opinion on 21 Pilots. So,
Yeah.
that's not me saying that you don't have good objective opinions. It's just you cannot give objective opinions on specifically 21 Pilots.
Yeah. Like sometimes I can, because obviously I can tell when they have a bad song. But
when it's one of the when it's,
I'll still listen to it.
yeah, when it's the sort of thing that it's like more than passable and it's a good song, but you can't tell whether or not it's a great song, you are so much more likely to interpret it as a great song, even if it's just a good song, for only 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
But that's also just because you have all the extra contextual meaning behind everything that they do.
Yeah, and I was also like, I was talking about it with Andrea.
Uh-huh.
And I was saying, I feel like this album just hits a little bit more because it's just, I mean, I was telling you about this, I feel already, but I said that I think because it talks so much about like different like changes and new beginnings and endings and stuff like that, I feel like it hits a little bit harder for me personally, because it's like, why does it feel like I feel every single thing on this?
Yeah. I get that.
Like hearing, I'm like navigating my head, and then it's like kind of feel like everybody leaves, feeling the reality that everybody leaves. My dad just lost his mom, it feels like everybody. Oh my god. I'm like, can I jam out to the song first? Oh my god. Like, Jesus. Okay. Sorry, I'm just, I'm gonna talk about them forever if I just keep going.
If anyone listening and or watching has not gathered, Ronnie's favorite artist ever, you want to complete that? Say it louder. They can all hear you.
Storm Brothers.
If you say it quieter, I'm just going to turn your volume up in a post.
21 Pilots.
21 Pilots. Ronnie's favorite artist ever is 21 Pilots. We just have to clarify
guys,
that right now.
Guys, I understand how that sounds. Okay.
Hold on, I'll let you explain after. You can explain after the intro.
Okay.
Welcome back And hello again, my frisky friends. You've just tuned into another episode of Rambling About Things I Read on Reddit.
I wish I wasn't packing up my stuff from the place that I learned to love you. I wish I had never given up on all the compositions of our tunes. Now I'm sleeping until 4 p.m. Stayed up all night cause we were talking about him. And I knew that this would happen then. I'm out, but I don't know which route to take.
Hi. Okay, you're not frozen anymore.
I'm your host, Brandon Amore.
And I'm your co-host, Ronnie Red.
We're back recording yet another episode this week, but don't think y'all are special. This episode is still gonna come out a week after the previous one. So basically, fuck you guys. We go on our own schedule. Be considerate of us. And for anyone who struggles to read sarcasm, that was it. Anyways, we're taking the bad bitches to Ohio. You can talk about 21 Pilots, though. Go ahead. No, I wanted you to continue your explanation. This is why I stopped you in your tracks. Go ahead.
That's criminal. That's criminal. That's criminal. I feel like I just got set up. I literally feel like I just got set up. Like Oreo literally lifted her head and was like, Okay. Well, guys, I know for someone who says I have a really good music taste and me saying that my favorite band is 21 Pilots, I know how that makes me look and I know how that sounds, but guys, sometimes
Sometimes you need to mind your own business.
yeah, sometimes you just need to like not, we all have our guilty pleasures. That's mine.
If you have liked any Ed Sheeran song ever, you're not allowed to fucking talk.
Yeah, actually, if you've ever,
If Ed
you
Sheeran
like-
has ever been your favorite artist at any point, you're not allowed to fucking talk.
yeah, really.
If
don't
Imagine
wanna hear
Dragons
that.
has been your favorite artist at any point, you're not allowed to fucking talk.
Bro, like I don't rock AJR. I laugh at like actually like that band.
Did
is
you
not
see that
real.
video of that fan, that like girl? She walked. There was like an AJR signing. Like they had their.
Oh, is that what
table.
you sent in the group chat?
Yes, and she. Oh my god!
did not
she walked,
see it.
She walked up to the table and she was just like, "You both have you just saved my life because." The music that you make and the way that it makes me feel, and it's just, and like she was doing like
person is
the
definitely
insufferable she was doing like the insufferable indie coming of age like female lead.
Definitely a clicky, probably.
That was fucking scary. That was horrifying. I'm glad that she had a great time, but like that was really scary.
Yeah. So if you're also, a clicky, hey twins.
Hey twins.
Walk the layout routines in the night. Some doors have stairs,
Literally.
all the world to see.
Okay, careful. I don't want to get demonetized.
I know, I sound just like them. You know who's also from Ohio?
God.
Right. HOLYSPRIT.
You can take me up to heaven.
Beartooth. Well,
Yes.
Caleb
God. Bear tooth. For anyone that's named Debbie Ryan or Ohio, I am sorry. But no, I'm not. Debbie, you better be posting about 21 Pilots Clancy right this second. Like, welcome back to Trench. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god. Like, it's actually so... Oh, actually, I'm not going to go into this right now. Okay. Listen,
That's really funny because the next thing that I wrote for myself to ask you is more about Clancy.
Oh, thank
Just
God,
yap.
thank God.
It's fine.
Literally, thank God. Literally, thank God. Literally, thank
Not
God.
for too long, though. Not for too long, though.
No, but I was like literally about to say, okay, so I cannot listen to Clancy in the car unless I have 47, unless my car ride is over 47 minutes, because that's how long the album is.
And you refuse to listen to it,
I-
like, not in its entirety?
Yeah, like I literally need to listen to it in its entirety. It's in its entirety. God damn. And I'm not even kidding. The last part, like, the way they end it, chills every time. Gagged.
Can you give them a little bit of a description for anyone who hasn't listened to Clancy?
So Clancy spoilers.
Actually, no, they're not even spoilers. If you haven't listened, it's your fault for not already knowing. And just listen after.
So Clancy spoilers, whatever. They Paladin Straight is the last song on 21 Pilots Clancy. And that song is gorgeous, beautiful, perfect ending. And then but it's a 6-minute song. The last 2 minutes, it goes right back into the lore, and then he gets cut off. So few, so proud, so emotional.
Oh my god.
And then, hello, Clancy. And then the album ends on hello, Clancy. The way that, and I'm like, ugh, chills every time. Please, Grammy nom. Okay, there's a theory that they have that they might get a Grammy nom this time around because the Recording Academy reposted their receiving their Grammy.
Oh my gosh.
So people are like, Grammy nom? And I'm like, please? Like, please? This one is, well, like, it's so deserved. Paul Meany, genius.
Also, it came out around the time that you were graduating. Tell us how you feel about being the first person in your family to get a college degree. And further than that, earning it from your dream school.
Yeah.
Bro, I like
No, I'm
actually
kidding. I'm
gave you
kidding.
a
I'm
good
kidding.
ass question.
I'm kidding. Kind of crazy, kind of weird. But, I mean, I feel like, I don't know. It's, obviously I didn't think my family would, like, treat me different or anything, but it's also just, like, they expect me to be really independent. ASAP. Like, a little, really fast, but it's kind of fun. Also, it's a nice little flex. I like the little flex of it all.
Well, you should be proud of yourself.
Yeah. Berkeley Jack.
Yes.
Where my jazz
Where my jazz cats
Where my
at?
mean guy?
Where my mean guy? The plural of Mingus is Mingai. And for anyone who doesn't know, Mingus is Berkeley's mascot.
Where my
Do
mean
we
guy?
have sports teams? No.
We have the Frisbee one.
The Ultimate Frisbee Club?
Yep.
It's a club.
Yep, we got that though. Yes, we got those.
Now, everyone, please DM us or comment how proud you are of both of us for getting our degrees from Berklee College of Music. I don't care how redundant this is, so everyone listening has to be excited for us. Otherwise, you're fake fans. Listen to another podcast if you're not here to witness two brown gays yapping. Anyways, the legendary Sam and Colby take us to Ohio!
Truth. Okay.
What's so interesting about Ohio, you ask? Yeah. Thank you so much for asking that, Ronnie. Thank you.
I can name two.
Well, thank you very much for prompting this, because Miss Show Me To Me Rachel. You can rest assured knowing that Sam and Colby are cosplaying as Rachel this time around, and they're here to show me to me. Is everyone ready to head on up to the Ohio State Reformatory? Are we pumped? Are we excited?
I'm a little scared.
Oh, Ronnie, you're supposed to sound a little bit more excited.
I'm a little scared.
Oh, whoa.
I'm a little scared though. Like, am I excited? Maybe, but I'm a little scared.
Okay. The Ohio State
scared.
Reformatory, otherwise known as the OSR, stands in Mansfield, Ohio. Built between 1886 and 1910, this historic prison housed inmates until 1990. A federal court ruling then ordered its closure. The OSR has been featured in numerous films, TV shows, and music videos, even while it was still a functioning prison. But it gained its lasting fame as the setting for for most of the scenes in the 1994 movie The Shawshank Redemption.
You know, I've never seen that movie.
No, me neither. I'm not gonna pretend like I have.
So, need to put
But
that
for
on
anyone
the
who
watch
has
list.
like really interesting fun fact,
Ooh,
yeah,
ooh, I want to know the music videos.
we'll get to that later. If you wanted to visit the OSR, they now welcome tourists. If you are visiting between November and March, tours are available Thursdays through Mondays from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. During the rest of the year, from April to October, the reformatory is open every day with the same hours. For a longer look during the summer months, from like Memorial Day to Labor Day, extended hours of 10 a.m. and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. are offered on Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you wanted to visit, anyone who's listening, because I don't plan on it, but
Neither
you
of us
plan on
that.
then enjoy yourselves and check out their website. Very helpful for finding out what you can do in terms of scheduling tours. But I didn't want to stick to that too much. I kind of just wanted to get directly into the Sam and Colby because we're in
Okay.
Ohio. Hi, 21 Pilots. Imagine if 21 Pilots filmed there. All of a sudden, you were just like, never mind, we are going. So, only for this reason, though.
Only for this reason.
Okay, so as they pull up, it already looked like a haunted castle. Fucked up. It's clear that it
Yeah.
had snowed a few days before they arrived, and it's clearly very, very cold outside.
Yay.
For anyone who watched Harry Potter, it looks like the inside of Gringotts. Like the front entrance looks like Gringotts. For context for Ronnie, Gringotts is a bank. And it
Okay.
is very grand and also super ominous and kind of looks like a dungeon at the same time. For those who haven't consumed Harry Potter, secondhand, no direct money to J.K. Rowling. We're going to keep on saying that every time Harry Potter is mentioned because it's very necessary for everyone to know that.
Real.
Today's video with Sam and Colby brings along Nate Hardy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I
and-
get happy when I see Nate.
And his at is Soul Hardy Music, SOLHARDY and the Haunted Nights events dudes. That is Steve and Dylan. They don't have any tags, so sorry, just look up Haunted Nights. I'm sure they'll come up.
Yeah.
So we get into background and history through Sam and Colby's words. It was nicknamed the Blood Prison. It had 154,000 inmates go
Okay.
through it. It is also known to be the largest freestanding cell block in the entire world.
Oh.
It's absolutely massive.
That's actually insane. Okay.
Like, when I say largest, I really mean like, it's just like, obviously how jail cells are put together. They're just kind of in a line, but it's like that on top of that, on top of that, on top. It keeps on going. And like the view down from the very top cell, it's like you're in a skyscraper.
Oh.
Not literally, because technically they weren't that high, but it's just like it's absurdly high for a prison in the first place. Like it does not make any sense for a prison to be this big. It was built on an old Civil War campsite, and they called it a reformatory because it was meant to take on younger criminals during their first offense and like recondition them to get back into society. And it is more like a short-term type of prison moment.
I see.
So in response to one of the first major riots, people were hanged from the ceiling by their thumbs. So that's just we're starting a little bit with some of their punishments, kind of. Also as a part of their background in history. So thumbs up, but in the absolute worst fucking way. Yeah, so one meal a day was fed to them at that time too. And knowing the conditions of prisons at that time, it was definitely like
Yeah.
half a piece of a slice of bread.
Yeah.
So Nate says, you're going to have a grumbling tummy and some fucked up thummies.
Wow.
I felt like that was necessary. It's also just because we think he's cute. Like sometimes what if I just need to include what he says because it matters, because I'm just like, hey. Okay, so
True.
when I say this place looks like a castle/mansion, I really mean that. The exterior is beautiful out of context for what it is. Like it makes no sense for the outside to be as like nice as it is. It really just feels like some grandiose building. It's not like a massive concrete looking cube like people imagine prisons look like. It's very much so like a well-constructed building. On the insides, not sure I can say the same, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So this prison ended up having to expand because of mass prison shutdowns. Was it during the Great Depression? But at the time, there were absurd amounts of massive prison shutdowns. So more than half of the state prisons in Ohio closed down, and they sent all of their occupants to Ohio State Reformatory because, like, they couldn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So this caused them to upscale into a maximum security prison with very little space. So we're going to get into the cells. They themselves were 7 feet by 9 feet.
Bruh.
7 feet by 9 feet. And like, okay, so like my apartment in Boston was tiny, and that was like 10 by 11 or something like that. But 7 feet by 9 feet? You can put like 2 twin beds in that, and like
Maybe.
if you work hard, you could put 2 twin beds in there.
Okay.
And when all the other prisoners were added to the current inmates, each cell held 3 to 4 people.
3 to 4 people.
3 to 4 people
7
in
by
each
9.
cell. In a 7 by 9.
7 by 9 cell.
Yes.
Dude, that actually that's terrible.
So at this time, the types of criminals held at the facility had changed. These new additions had been incarcerated for violent crimes. So it was less like small offenses, first offenses, like, I don't know, maybe they were caught doing drugs or doing something that is something small. Now it has upscaled to just any kind of crime plus the violent crimes, because you had all of these people coming in from other prisons because the prisons were just closing down.
Yeah. Which that's just crazy in itself. Like,
Yeah.
actually.
So like, why were they closing? Actually, no, government funding, but still.
But still.
So overcrowding in the prison increased rates of diseases spreading. So some of the most common ones that were being thrown around were tuberculosis, Spanish flu, syphilis, gonorrhea, and more.
Wow.
And it was just, oh my lord, if one person got sick, the entire prison was sick. And that was like way too many fucking people.
Yeah, because, oh my god. That's tuberculosis. Like, why do you have to... I'm a tuberculosis hater, actually.
Raise your hand if you hate tuberculosis. Literally, okay. So that's not even the worst of it, really. So rats, cockroaches, and other pests absolutely overran the prison. Inmates would jam wads of paper towels and cloth into their ears so roaches wouldn't burrow into their different orifices.
Hate that. Yep.
Because it was a very, very common thing. Because I mean, like, where's the nice, warmest place? Inside of someone's ear. And there were a lot of people's ears to go inside of, so I mean...
A lot of options to choose from.
After it became a maximum security prison, 120 inmates revolted against the treatment and conditions.
Real.
All of them were thrown into solitary confinement because there were an absurd amount of solitary confinement cells.
Oh, awesome.
While they were telling us this info, like Sam and Colby were chatting up about this, a draft started pushing down the stairs And strangely enough, none of the doors in any part of the prison were open at all. And it makes absolutely no...
Repeat that one more time.
While they were telling us this info, like all the stuff that I've been listening to, Colby and Nate,
what?
A draft, a strong wind came down the stairs.
Okay, that I just wanted to make sure I heard that right.
Yeah, a strong wind came down the stairs, and none of the doors to any part of the prison were open. The windows weren't open or anything. In that draft, it makes no sense that happened.
Yeah.
The microphone also picked it up. So, like, you could, like, it got the wind sounds.
Wind sounds.
Wow.
Wind sounds.
So, anyways, those inmates were shoved into 10 cells intended for one person for 1 week. So those 120 people were split between 10 cells.
A whole week?
120 people separated into 10 cells. So there's 12 of them in each cell, in each solitary confinement cell with no doors or windows or light sources.
No, yeah. Sorry.
They were not fed at all for that whole week.
What the
And by the end of the week, some had starved to death. Others had murdered each other, and the rest went insane and and just never recovered.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think so. That's pretty like, it sucks, but that's pretty reasonable given their circumstances.
Just terrible. Also, sorry, got distracted. Oreo was just like, she was sleeping, and now she like looked up, and now she's just looking at me. Hi.
She's listening.
Yeah, I guess
is so excited to hear us record this episode together.
I know.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Inmates often said the best way to escape the prison was to jump off the highest cell block and die.
Oh.
And I just wanted to note this because I noted this while I was editing or while I was writing this.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I only 7 minutes into the video and we have all that?
Wow.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think the video was like almost 2 hours long.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it was like, those videos are always longer.
Yeah. So
there's
that.
7 minutes in. Wow, 7 minutes in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's continue. No executions took place here. Nice. So that means all the death was caused by murder, suicide, starvation, disease, but very rarely natural causes. So it was just no one was executed.
But a bunch of unfortunate casualties.
Yes. They all died, but for reasons that were very hard.
I mean, if you think about it, definitely by the prison.
Yeah. Not officially, but the prison definitely did kill them.
No, like that prison definitely fucking murdered them, for real.
So inmates hated being there so much that many of them took their lives by lighting themselves on fire. As a reminder, for anyone who doesn't know this, burning to death is rated to be one of the most painful ways to pass away. This is apparently comparable to dying by drowning, freezing, or giving birth.
Oh. Yeah, no. That's actually so, like, sad, though.
Like, the fact that they, like, were driven to do that and do it in the most painful way.
What the hell? Oh, God. Okay.
Not a good sign at all.
Not a good sign about this place.
So, James Lockhart was one of the patients that burned himself to death at 22 years old.
Bruh.
Okay. James used a bottle of accelerant on himself to start the fire. And other inmates had to run their sinks and splash water on their faces with the amount of smoke that was coming out from the cell, while James was ripping his vocal cords with agonizing screams.
Okay.
Because, like, these cell blocks were open as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you could hear every single breath of everyone around you. And that also meant that there was, like, wonderful ventilation, but that also meant that all of the smoke from someone else burning themselves alive it goes to everyone else around them. So they all just got very used to the smell of people burning.
No, yeah, I was gonna say, what did they and the prison really for real? I mean, obviously they didn't. They probably didn't, but they really just did nothing about this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
Like
they're just like,
literally
oh,
didn't do like it was. I would dare to say that I guess the most that they did was maybe clean up, but I doubt that they even did that properly. Because I mean, with the
Yeah.
amount of pests and everything else, like they didn't clean.
no, absolutely not. That does not sound good.
Yes. So there was also another dude named Larry Harmer, and he was there for 1 year. He was sentenced
Okay.
for causing damage to someone's property, and within that year, also being someone in his 20s, he hung himself in his cell. Oh wait, oops, hanged. We literally went over this in another episode. He hanged himself in his cell. So sorry, that's my fault for writing it down. But
okay.
yeah, he
Like I said, we've all been there.
in the graveyard. There are only 215 marked gravestones.
Only 250.
There are hundreds more that don't have any form of burial sites.
Okay.
We also get into some more about the construction of the building.
Slay.
The ceiling is kind of like it's not kind of. It is entirely just lined with copper. And for those who don't know, copper is super fucking conductive. It is extremely conductive.
So it's hot as fuck in there.
And it also happens to make the building function kind of like a massive lightning rod. So lightning would strike the building often and affect everyone in the building because of the copper ceilings.
Who designed this? Who thought this was a
Great
good
fucking
idea?
question. I'm not entirely sure I got into that, but like, why?
Who thought this was a good idea?
Oh, yes. That in itself caused an electromagnetic field within the whole building. Like, the building was just fucking magnetic. It was just a huge super electromagnet.
It was.
in some
It was
ways.
what?
You. Super ego. Okay. It was, yes. Oh, yes. But the electromagnetic field in itself, it kind of motivated an absurd amount of paranormal activity to occur as well. So
If it couldn't get worse.
people report chills, being pushed, people walking around, shadow people with red glowing eyes, and cell doors opening and closing by themselves.
Me when I thought I got pushed last night. Anyways, continue.
Tell us about it. Was it an unseen force?
I don't know. I was like falling asleep last night after I hung up, right? But what if I talk about it and then it makes it worse?
Well, I want to know.
And then I was like sleeping and then it felt like someone grabbed both my shoulders and just like pushed me into my bed. And like what and then I like woke up and I was like, okay, well I'm gonna go on TikTok for the next few hours.
Are you sure it wasn't just one of those things where you wake up in a weird, like, panic?
I don't know.
I'm not
'cause
trying to invalidate you. I'm just like, I know, like, I'm so used to doing that sometimes where, like, I wake up because, like, I got smacked in the face in a dream that I don't remember. And I, like, wake up and I jolt.
I don't know because it felt like someone grabbed both my shoulders and I was like
You felt two hands, like, on your shoulders, just, like, closing and then push you.
like it felt like someone just went like that.
Awesome.
Brandon, please get
Did you feel like the hands of, like, the size of the hands?
It felt like bigger than mine.
Awesome.
So get down here ASAP.
Did
please.
y'all get the house blessed?
I don't know.
Perhaps you can schedule that?
It's okay. My grandma lives next door and she has an altar.
Yeah, but the house was not blessed yet.
Right. But again, I also could just totally be imagining this.
Whether or not you're imagining it, we also know that it is very possible for paranormal oh, blah, blah. Paranormal entities to interact with your psyche. That could mean connecting with your dreams in different ways. Think about it.
Right.
Do we get the house blessed? Yes. I'm not sure it costs anything. I don't think it costs anything.
Get down here ASAP so I don't have to appear by myself anymore.
And then we get the house blessed.
Yeah. No,
Cool.
I'm not lucky. I'm blessed. Yes, clap for the heavyweight champ, me. But I couldn't do it along.
We
We.
literally French people. Now they start their tour. Gred Feketik. Feketik? Gred Feketik. That's hard.
Okay.
He'll just be Greg. Greg, the lead paranormal investigator for OSR, is helping them. And we have Lauren Hellickson, the Tri-C Ghost of the Tri-C Ghost Hunters. And we also have Haunted Nights, Dylan and Steve. Haunted Nights already heard and felt footsteps by solitary confinement. They didn't start their investigation and they started witnessing shit already.
Okay.
Ooh, it was also caught on audio.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, they got it.
No, it wasn't.
I won't play it for you, but yeah, it was
Clear as day, I'm assuming.
too much. So, anyways, Greg Feketik, lead paranormal investigator, has been investigating since 1991. And he's
Okay.
been specifically at the OSR since 2004. So he said he hadn't seen a shadow or apparition, like a shadow person or an apparition, until he started working there. So in the center of the room when he was there, he heard growling and church bells when he first arrived.
So the worst things to hear.
Cool. Ooh, he also has he talked about and showed us an audio recording of different things clattering to the ground, but he never saw anything fall. So he hears a lot. Just in general, he's saying that he hears a lot of movement and activity around him constantly, and it's physical. But he doesn't see what's doing it, and a lot of times he'll go and investigate to see things that are to hear and to like find out what just clattered in the distance.
Yeah.
And there's nothing changed.
Did that just no.
People who have treated the spirits badly, might I add, get treated badly right back, apparently.
How so?
We'll get into that. So they start making their way to something called the chair room. The chair room, if I didn't pronounce that properly for anyone
Living
who's
rooms
listening.
be like.
Living rooms. On their way down there, they hear banging down the hall as Greg explains that the chair room often receives growling shadow people, footsteps, and more. At the
They
same
heard
time,
Jessie J, Ariana Grande, and Nicki Minaj.
not you trying to cope. At the same time, Lauren started hearing voices from behind her as they were making their way and explaining the scary things that happened. So
No, you didn't, girl.
some people who visited a while back also reported seeing shadow figures there. This specific case mentions a shadow figure that was like a large man staring at them from the corner of the inside of one of the solitary confinement cells. Like they were walking past the multiple doors in a hall. And all of those doors were the solitary confinement doors because they were taking a tour. And as they were going through, they walked past one door and they were just like, who was in that one looking at us? And they go back and they don't feel fucking good because they go back, they see it. And as they were looking, it like twitched onto the ground. And it got on all fours and it started scuttling down the hall past them.
I literally have full body chills right now. If chills, ew, stop. Oh my god, I'm like gonna cry. Oh my god, no. No.
So we go back to the chair room. Let's bring us back to Earth. We're back in the chair room. Still fucking scary, but a little bit less scary than Mr. Large Shadow Scuttle Man. The chair room only has one chair in it. That's why it's called the chair room.
Okay.
So there's no windows, just like one door to a big room. So yeah, the chair is really weird. It always returns to the center of the room, no matter where you move it. Like, you can move it and you'll leave and come back and it'll be back in the center.
Oh,
So
lovely.
Colby decides that it's a wonderful idea to sit in the chair for 15 minutes alone in the dark, just because he thinks that that would be fun, you know? A
Yeah,
helpful
totally.
part for their investigation.
Yep, do that on the north. Actually, that was what I was gonna do tomorrow. Actually, so twin.
Exactly. So people hear voices growling, experience people touching them, but no one has been attacked during specifically the 15 minutes challenge when they're like silent and alone. However, that room is known for specifically when there are multiple people in there. The person that sits in the chair is more often than not attacked for various reasons.
Right.
None of the reasons are clear, but various reasons for sure. So when there are multiple people in the room, people that sit in the chair are often attacked. And after a while, they start screaming like they're being violently harmed and always stand up and are just like, I got hit or like scratched or like I felt pain here, and they show it. And there's bruises, there's scratch marks.
What the fuck?
There's like, and it like breaks skin, like there's a little blood too. And it's like,
Ew.
cool. So people also claim that the chair room potentially has portals, which I would believe it. I believe it enough to not fucking go or be
Yep.
interested in being near it. So that's cool. It's also Ohio, so why would I be there? Literally Ohio.
I could name a few reasons.
Okay. Gen Alpha is not happy with you right now. Ohio. Okay. Oh.
Ohio. Ohio.
Gosh. Here we go. I know I have some pictures to show you.
Brandon.
I have some pictures. Yes, I have some pictures. Oh my god,
No,
I forgot
you
to send them to myself.
It's okay. It's okay, Shawty babe.
Oh well. We're going to have to take a second because I'm going to take my phone and send the pictures to Ronnie. Oh, yes. Oh, it's because those pictures didn't send. Cool. I'll send them to myself now. You're going to hate these.
Brandon.
I won't send them to you so they're not on your phone. But I'll hold them up to the screen so you have to look at them. It's a little bit more distanced from you, but you're not going to be able to escape it. You have to see it all. I do hope that they will send faster, though. Oh my gosh, they appeared. Oh. Cool. Oh, and now I have some pictures of the chair when someone started noticing something enter the room while they were there.
Okay.
Okay. So this picture is from... This is just the chair in the room. So we hate it already. It looks pretty bad.
Yep.
And then we have the next one. They noticed something in the room with them. So we didn't have that black splotch earlier.
Yeah.
Right above the chair.
Okay.
And it was taken with like a nice camera too. So the resolution is good. And we're not able to escape seeing things. And it's not like some weird like security footage camera
Yeah.
or anything like that. So it's like one of those things where you have a very clear image in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a massive dark splotch on the chair and someone reported feeling something enter. That's too much. That's way too much.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
We're going to leave the chair room for right now, though. So
Okay.
I hope that makes us feel a little bit better.
Thank God.
We are going to the west attic, though. And that is something that we should be afraid
I
of.
hate when there's an attic.
So in 1930, there was a massive fire at the Ohio Penitentiary. For everyone who was not listening hard enough, the Ohio Penitentiary is not the Ohio State Reformatory. Two different places. There was a massive fire at the Ohio Penitentiary, and those inmates were sent to the OSR, and all shoved into the west attic with pretty much no amenities at all. Did they have cells? No, they were entirely shoved into the attic. The entire, like, all of the occupants of the Ohio Penitentiary were just shoved into the attic because that's where they had space.
Why did they accept them?
There was nowhere else to put them. And the Ohio State Reformatory was like the biggest one in the area, in the whole state. So it's like that was the only resource they had, realistically.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the same space, someone visiting was making fun of some of the spirits and just provoking everything there. And this person was scratched. This person was punished for that. And so I believe that I have some pictures of that. So here are the scratch marks.
Oh, those are kind of gnarly.
Yeah, no, it broke enough skin too for it to like have a little bit of blood drawn.
Yeah.
It's not like bleeding, but you can definitely see that there's like if it was any deeper, they would be bleeding for sure.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna hate this one. So Greg, the dude that's been taking us on the tour, love you, Greg. He's great. I love Greg. He's really sweet and he's really funny. I don't know how else to describe him. That's heart emoji.
Slime.
He's literally just such a guy. Like,
yeah.
I mean that in the sense where like he's very much just a man, but
yeah.
he's kind of silly and I like him.
Kind of silly, goofy.
So Greg's friend was there investigating at one point, and as he was walking through, and this is in the west attic, reminder,
remind you.
So not that song. Greg's friend was investigating at one point, and as he was walking through, he started hearing footsteps sprinting up behind him, like it was chasing him. He didn't know what it was, but it was going directly for him, and it was behind him, and he got really scared. But before he could turn around, he was kicked in the back of the leg, and he fell to the floor. Frantic, his friend tried to get back up, Frantic, he tried to get back up, but something had a hold of his leg and was starting to drag him away.
No.
Thankfully, his wife turned around and ran towards him. It was at this time that everything stopped, and it seemed to like let go and run away. It was almost like it was trying to kill people off in secret.
Ew, oh my god.
And I do have a picture.
No, you don't.
Because a lot of people are going to be like, well, you weren't kicked in the back of the leg. Yes, he was. This is the bruise. The back of his leg literally is so bruised it has jaundice.
I'm like so speechless right now, actually.
Yeah, dude was literally almost killed and dragged away by an invisible force, which actually we don't even know if it was invisible. It was just dark in the west attic. There's also wait, what? Go ahead.
I have like no words right now.
Ronnie's like checking the doors in his room right now.
I'm checking Oreo.
Oh,
because she readjusts.
Oreo's keeping you safe.
She readjusts.
Oh yes. So, by the way, for Funskis, they also do have another 15-minute challenge available in this wing.
Lovely.
So, Nate is the one that loses nose goes.
Damn.
So, Nate is really nervous, so he decides he needs to go to the restroom first, because he has to poop. And before he leaves, Greg warns them with the most disgusting warning. When you're in here, start watching the doors for shadow figures. They'll start trying to come in without you knowing.
What do you mean by that?
I'll say it again because I don't want to stutter this time, and I want people to get a clear quote in the worst way. When you're in here, start watching the doors for shadow figures. They'll start trying to come in without you knowing.
I'm like sick to my stomach.
And also, I need to remind everyone and let them know. Well, not remind, because they didn't say it earlier. Well, I did, just not clearly. All of the shadow figures that people report seeing here are notorious, specifically because all of the shadow figures at the Ohio State Reformatory are known to have the glowing red eyes every time. Like, they're not just shadows. Like, they have just that. They just have the glowing eyes, so you can see them looking at you.
Nope.
Okay, so quick reminder. The OSR houses the largest cell block in the world. Now, they're going for their investigation, but before they begin, Greg gives a warning, and Greg gives them a lot of warnings, and I appreciate him, because he's really sweet, and his energy is wonderful. He's really funny. Like, I can tell he'd be a homie. I want to be his friend. I just don't want to be his friend in that place.
Yeah.
He says, just make sure the person in front of you is real and not an apparition. And he was like, because in my experience, as I was working, I was with some people and we were guiding this person around, and he walked in front of us for a bit. And at one point he asked to walk into somewhere, and we're like, yeah, sure. And he walks ahead of us, and he walks through the gate instead of opening it.
Oh.
But then he just disappeared. So apparently there's a lot of apparitions there that also just fake being someone that knows you. And they walk around with you and they do stuff with you.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. I wanted to get back into some explanations of what the cell block looked like, because I keep on talking about how it's massive. And I tried to describe it a little earlier, but I didn't have the numbers right in front of me.
Yeah.
Now I do. So each tier was 100 cells, and that was like each layer of the cell block. And there were 600 cells, so that was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
It was so tiny. They got like no space whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, it was massive in terms of like, but they also just had no space inside of their cells either.
Yeah.
No matter how big it was not big enough for the amount of people that were there.
Yeah.
People, rats, and roaches.
Lots of things in there.
Yeah. So, another person, James Lockhart, in 1960, set himself on fire in his cell.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Greg, our tour guide, has another challenge for them. Jesus fucking Christ.
Enough with his fucking challenges.
Loves challenges.
Enough
He's just
with his
like,
fucking
there's
challenges.
this one, you should try it. Like, you get a lot of stuff from this one. And I'm just like, no. So he wants someone to walk through basically the entire prison, like going around the cell blocks, the 600 cells. He wants them to just walk around by themselves, no flashlight. And he was just like, and they're just like, why can't we have a flashlight? And he's just like, why would you need a flashlight when you have ambient light? Like, there's some lights outside. You can still see without it. No, I want a fucking flashlight.
Give me the fucking flashlight, bitch.
Like,
what are you talking about?
Why is it kind of sassy now?
No,
Shut the fuck up. I
literally.
need my goddamn flashlight.
Like, God, not all of us are you.
Oh.
Okay.
While doing that walk directly past the cells, he said that people often report seeing shadow figures poking their heads out from inside the cells.
Oh.
They also like to peek out from behind the walls
Ew.
and different doors. So like while people are walking past, like they just see the heads poking out and then going back inside as you walk past.
I can't do this. Jesus Christ.
This might explain the breeze earlier though. So maybe this will give us like maybe we can breathe a little bit for like 2 seconds. The windows, but it's for a sad reason. The windows were broken in the building to, get this, cool it down during the summers. But also, people would entirely just freeze to death during the winter because there were no windows. And I mean that not as an exaggeration. Like, they fully would die because of how cold it was. They were in an open air prison at that point. There was it wasn't sealed.
That's insane, actually.
Like, that might work in California. because regulated weather, but like Ohio,
Yeah, no.
mm-mm. Oh, you wanted to know which music video was filmed there?
Yeah.
So, you know that song "Go DJ" by Lil Wayne?
What?
The music video was filmed in the Ohio State Reformatory. And it's
Okay.
funny because you can watch the music video and like, now that you know that it's the Ohio State Reformatory, it's kind of fucking crazy. Like, he really is just in there for the entire thing. He had his whole crew there, dancers and everything.
Damn. Okay, watching that after this.
Yeah, no, it's kind of, it's weird because it's Lil Wayne, so like obviously I'm not like prompted that it's a fucking haunted prison, but it's I'm just like,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah, like, what are you doing here?
Like, I understand wanting to have a prison as a set, but why would you film it at this specific one?
Yeah.
Anyways, now they make their way to solitary confinement, back to where the Haunted Nights guys saw the shadow figures and heard footsteps. Oh, goody, love to be back.
Glad we're back. Missed it so much.
Oh, and it was, okay, this is one of the reasons I love Greg. He was so cute. Like, they got there, and he literally, he waddled like this, and he was just like, oh, this is actually where I saw my apparition last Thursday. And it's like, that's fucking scary, first of all. But the fact that he was so excited about it, I'm just like, oh, he just wants to show us. Like,
No, like, literally, he's just
I'm
like,
like, I can't hate him.
he's like, hey guys, so.
Like, maybe he
actually-
just loves the ghost a little bit too much.
Which is like, also why?
It's fine. He loves his job, and I respect him for that, because
You know,
that's not
I'm glad
something
there's
that most people
someone-
can say.
I'm glad there's someone who does this, you know?
Yeah,
Because.
who does it and enjoys it? You know, like, it's not a sentence.
Yeah, because I feel like that's scary otherwise. It's okay.
I was not about to have my phone die in the middle of filming the episode.
No, that's so real. It's okay.
I've been so mad.
Oh, please imagine.
Okay.
That would have been not good.
Known to be the most active part of the prison, solitary confinement was very fucking scary, to say the
Yeah.
absolute least. especially that fucking figure that was standing in the corner and like twitched to the ground and scuttled down the hall.
Stop. I literally don't remind me. Don't actually remind me of that one, please.
On all fours.
Stop it.
Ooh, we have another story. Two
Okay.
people were sentenced to solitary confinement together. Okay, that's not very solitary to me. Anyways,
That doesn't sound like solitary confinement. That sounds like you're trying to set them up.
yeah, I agree with that completely. So one of them stole the other's food, and the one whose food was stolen got angry and stabbed the other one to death.
Oh.
So the other one, the food thief, was shoved under the bed, and the guards came in and were just like, "What the fuck?" And so the guards murdered the murderer. In that case, apparently this happened quite often. The guards were just known to be absolutely horrendous. One of them was nicknamed the Holy Cross because he was infamous for killing 5 inmates during his time there. Greg was giving a lady a tour at
Awesome.
one point. And while walking past one of the... Oh!
That does not look like a
God.
good face.
This is the way that there's more for solitary confinement than the one that you're so scared of right now. So while Greg was giving this lady a tour, he saw a shadow figure and was standing against the back wall of one of the windowless metal rooms, and it was just staring at him with its glowing red eyes.
No.
When the woman who
It was
was
actually
with
just
him,
blurry face.
when the woman who was with him saw it, she screamed and she started sobbing because of being absolutely terrified. I understand her. It's fine.
No, like I'm on the verge of tears, so I get it.
Thankfully, nothing further happened. She was just having a horrible time.
Bless you.
Sneeze.
Bless you.
Okay. Ooh. So, as the story is being told, Colby feels extremely nauseous. Bitch, I would too. We get back. Back in 1932, there was a guard named Frank Hanger. He was murdered by an inmate. The inmate found a 3-foot-long iron pipe, and when Frank came in, he was hit over the head with the pipe. The inmate proceeded to hit him over the head a multitude of times until he was dead and attempted to escape with 3 other prisoners. Another inmate snitched on them, and those 3 were eventually sentenced to death by electric chair.
Oh, okay.
A year later.
A year later.
Yeah.
Damn, okay. Where
Frank
the
is
hell
thought
was
to
the
walk
electric
around-
chair?
I don't fucking know, but they made space for it, I guess.
The fuck?
Didn't have space for more inmates, but that's
Space
crazy.
for a fucking electric chair.
Yeah. Anyways,
Next, they're gonna bring in fucking guillotine.
seriously. Frank, the one that was killed, the guard that was killed, is thought to walk around the block. Right after they started, right after that story, they started hearing heavy footsteps behind them.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
So, the tour's over, bitches. Time to start the investigation. They all got cameras and ghost equipment, so let's fucking go.
I thought that there was an investigation part.
Yeah, no, we literally didn't even start. Like, we were mostly in their background and history and their tour, pretty much. So they moved the chair in the chair room to the corner. Fucking why? And Colby is going to be sitting in it doing the 15-minute challenge. They're all going to split up and conduct their individual investigations. So Colby's doing one by himself, Nate's doing the one in the West Attic, and Sam's doing like the walking challenge, I think.
Okay.
As they start their investigation, they leave Colby in the chair room and start walking away. As they do this, Sam immediately starts hearing laughter coming from behind him from the darkness of the West Attic. Like
Lovely.
just where you can't see.
Yep. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay.
And you'll have to come back next week to finish this up with us.
What? Are you for real right now?
Yes.
Bitch, are you serious?
If you want to watch the video along with how we're covering it, you can watch up to 30 minutes, because that's where I stopped for this part. The video is Our Horrifying Night in Haunted Prison, Scary by Sam and Colby. But yes, that's all that I have on specifically this place for you this week. There's so
Dude,
much that
this is
happens in
messed
there.
up.
Like, not to spoil stuff, but there's so much that happens in their investigation that I entirely had to make a full other episode.
Dude.
And the craziest thing too is that I didn't go on any other sites and add extra like history info from what Sam and Colby have been saying. Like, I fully am dedicating I dedicated this episode to the Sam and Colby video, but I didn't add extra research, so it's insane how much stuff they're getting. Like, this is just from the video, and it's so long that I had to split it up into 2 because I would have had like 45 pages. Yeah.
Okay.
But please
Guys,
don't
this
fret.
is- Guys, if you were also gagged right now, honestly, I have no words. I literally have no words right now. Like, this is honestly fucked up.
Luckily for Ronnie, we're recording the next episode tomorrow, so like Ronnie doesn't have to wait as long as you guys do. The thing is, if I gave you all of the info for tonight, I don't think you would be sleeping for the next few days. So I'd rather split it up, so you can take breaks from hearing about it.
Yay. Okay.
But don't fret, guys. I didn't forget to ramble with the Redditors. I have 3 stories for everyone.
Yay.
So I hope I can get through them. I write. Oh, this one doesn't seem too long. Let's see.
Let's see.
Okay, so this is a Reddit post from r/BuzzFeed Unsolved. The post is from 5 years ago, and the person posting is ASOP44, ASOEP44. And the post is called, I spent the night at the Ohio State Reformatory. I stayed the night there as a part of a public ghost hunt events about 2 weekends ago. I have visited there a few times over the years. If you want, you can also ask me about Mothman, because I live right next to there and have been in the area at least more than a dozen times now. Yeah, Mothman is a really scary one. Well, I should talk to you about that one. I think you'd hate it.
Don't like the sound of that.
They said, edit, unrelated, but I've also been to the asylum designed by the guy who designed the reformatory. Cool. Why are you a super fan?
Yeah, bro. What's going on here?
And they said, I'm currently rewatching the episode as a refreshing. Gosh, y'all need to learn how to type. And would like to say there were no executions in the chapel per my tour guide when I went. Anyone who was going to be executed would be executed in Columbus, Ohio. Even the electric chair they have on display in the museum is from Columbus, not Mansfield. Also Shane's comment. Cool. Now we have extra context for that. The electric chair, they were sent places for the electric chair. So
they were sent.
The no executions in the prison still rings true. Because I was like, wait, did I mess something up?
Yeah.
They didn't visit a lot of places in the reformatory during the hunt, which is a bit of a disappointment. I imagine... God, this dude has so many typos. I imagine they had way more access than I did, and I visited way more places in the prison than them. Okay. Literally had a whole bunch of nothing to say.
Nothing.
Oh. I think I got this one because the comments were good. Okay, shut up. You're just talking about BuzzFeed Unsolved. The shower room is 100% haunted. We were there today. There was a loud banging noise before we walked in, so we figured someone was there doing something. But when we got in there, the noise immediately stopped, and the room was totally empty. Then we walked back out, and the noise started again. Okay.
All right.
Awesome. I love a fucking ghost that lures you into fucking places. Jesus.
Yeah. Love that. Literally love that.
Ooh, okay, this one is cool. It's like that one. You know how I had like that one episode where I was like, I had like a profile for the haunted entities, and it was like kind of like Pokemon cards for them.
Yes.
I have an entity profile posted by just-Bert 5 months ago in r/ghosts. A quick glance at the malevolent guard of Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio. Unknown and documented entity. Entity profile. Name of the entity, the malevolent guard. Type of entity, ghost. Time known/active. Reports have become more common in more recent paranormal investigations. Location, Ohio State Reformatory, Mansfield, Ohio. The malevolent guard is reported by visitors and paranormal investigators at the Ohio State Reformatory and is thought to be that of an old guard, unlike the entity that to be that of yesterday's. But Jesus, can you... I'm gonna have to ask everyone on Reddit to take an English class, like a basic English class.
Is this, guys? What is this, guys?
The entity is often experienced rather than seen. Some report feelings of being watched, followed, or even touched by an unseen entity. This entity is often associated with sudden drops in temperature, unexplained noises, as well as a general sense of severe unease. Attributes/environment. The malevolent guard's presence is most often reported in the cell blocks and solitary confinement areas. Witnesses describe an overwhelming sense of dread, similar to the feeling of being cornered or trapped. Paranormal teams have recorded unexplained audio phenomena, such as harsh whispers or the sound of heavy boots in areas where the guard is said to be.
Okay. Well, this place sounds absolutely horrible. I don't want to go here. I never want to be seen here. This actually sounds like my worst nightmare.
Yeah, I, as per usual, don't like anything about any place that I'm talking about.
Guys, this one was like, guys,
I have one more.
okay.
Posted in r/paranormal 4 years ago by KM31186. Experiences at Mansfield Reformatory.
Okay.
This is my first. I need to reset that. This is my first post. Jesus. This is my first post on here. I went to Mansfield Reformatory for a ghost hunt 2 years ago. It was a private one, so I was one of maybe 35 who were there. Before we were all left to go on our own and explore the place, we were given a tour. When we were taken through places where the wardens of the place lived while they worked there, and also where their families lived. Not their families living there with them. God. Okay. All of a sudden they need a divorce.
Yeah.
Don't live at the reformatory with them.
No.
During one part of the tour, I decided to lean up against the wall right next to where a long corridor was. I was listening to the guide explain about the history when I could hear what I can only describe as pots and pans being moved around as if someone was trying to get things out to cook. I put it in the back of my mind as other staff members getting things ready for the lockdown, etc.
Yeah.
A couple minutes later, I heard the same sound and looked down the hallway, and there are no lights and nobody's back there. As I'm looking back there, there was another woman standing amongst in the same spot as me, but on the opposite side. She then asked me, "Did you hear something back there?" I explained to her that I did, but to not tell me what it was. I asked another person if she could let her explain to her what she heard before I explained my side of the Reddit needs to like force Grammarly down people's throat. Anyways, okay, I'll summarize it because this is unreadable. Basically, the ladies are all chatting with each other and they all realized they heard the same exact thing, and they came back to the hallway and they found out that that's where the wives of the guards would often bake cakes and cook while they were visiting.
Bruh.
Dang.
What the hell?
People all say that it becomes more reactive once the sun goes down too. Oh!
Yeah, that makes sense.
I have another one too, I guess. Shit, I didn't...
Okay.
I felt really bad because I was just like, so sorry. I didn't mean to cut the episode in half, so I'm going to give you guys more Reddit stories. So this one is r/the truth is here, posted by MTGKAJHIT. I'm not going to try to say it. Ohio State Reformatory, 3 unexplained events. Oh, fuck. My first day working there, I was followed along behind a tour working as a pusher to keep people from wandering off and obeying the signs. On the West Cell Block tour, it was around 3:30 or so, and I was standing on the south side a few cells from the end of the block while the guide was sharing something with the group, when a few guests were asking me something. Don't remember the question, but the answer involved Jason and Grant from TAPS, whatever that means.
Okay.
Just as I said their names, I got hit from behind. My brother used to do this thing where he would walk up behind me and slam his hand down on my neck or shoulder forcefully. I thought it was him who did this and was pissed because it was way more forceful than usual. But I turned around and there was absolutely no one there. My brother was on another tour, and the guest I had been speaking with looked at me all confused. 10 minutes later, the tour was over and my neck and shoulder were killing me. My right ear was ringing by this point, and the whole area felt like it was on fire. Next day, I woke up with a bruise on my neck/shoulder and scratches on my ear.
Oh my god.
One day, this is the second event. One day, Between tours, myself and a few other people decided to wander into the basement as we were still new and hadn't been there before. We were looking on the east side under the admin section and just looking around. Very quickly, we felt watched, and it got much colder. The longer we stayed, the more uncomfortable it became. Only one light works in the main room, and there were 5 adjacent rooms and a hallway behind the stairs, so it was very dark. I
Yeah.
sat on the steps for a moment, and my one friend took a picture of me and her grandson. No one else was on the steps. Oh, I know where this is going. Fuck. Immediately, we looked at it, and behind us, you could see very clearly someone standing behind us. They were partially transparent, but very detailed. A few moments later, we heard a shuffling sound. Assuming it was a raccoon, we approached where the noise came from and noped the fuck out of there. Real. Because
Yeah.
we were met with a set of red glowing eyes in the darkness.
Nope. It was a raccoon, guys.
They
It was a
weren't
raccoon.
reflecting light as deer or cat's eyes would either. They were glowing, and they were very obviously their own light source. Another
Ew,
day,
ew.
after I finished the tours that I was working, my brother and 2 friends were wandering around the west cell block. We were on the north side 4th range. As we were walking, we heard someone walking below us and assumed it was K or M, 2 other people who we worked with and had previously seen them walk past and head for the West Tower. As we were walking down
Okay.
the end of the cell block after the footsteps we heard was... Y'all need to use commas. As we were walking toward the end of the cell block after the footsteps we heard, something that sounded like a cell door slammed shut beneath us, and it shook the entire floor for the cell block that they were standing on.
Oh.
Odd, because the block is brick and mortar, but the tiers are steel. So, interesting. Immediately following the bang of steel on steel, we heard running, a dragging sound, and yelling from 4 different people. More loud bangs and a thud. And then everything went silent. We were all looking at each other like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
While we stood there for a few minutes listening, K and M walked by again on the ground floor, coming back from the tower. So it wasn't them that made the noises, and they didn't hear them because they were in a completely different part of the prison.
The fact that this person that only had 1, but 3 different stories to share.
Yes. And
Get out of there. Why do you keep going back?
I do want to include just one more thing that I want to show everyone because I feel like it's helpful. Not that you would like it. So I know I showed you guys the scratches earlier. These aren't the only scratches though.
Right.
So this is from
Right.
another person. This time it drew blood for sure. And this is from another person. And these are definitely the deepest ones.
Oh my god.
And that's pretty much all that I have for you guys this week. How do you feel? Was this an interesting one?
Bitch, I'm scared, and I'm scared for the next one.
Oh yeah, no, because we haven't even gotten to the worst parts. Ronnie's about to start crying right now.
Sure if I'm ready for it. Y'all, I'm freaking the hell out right now. Like, honestly, this shit is
It's a good thing you have
scary as hell.
Oreo. It's a good thing you have Oreo with you. For
No
real.
facts.
Like, that's going to keep you grounded.
Guys, for context, like, Oreo is my dog. Oreo's my dog. I picked her up today after being away from her from college, and now she's gonna live with me and Brandon, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yes. Doggy time.
She's sleeping like a little angel that she is.
Sleeping like the little angel that she is.
Yep.
Yep. But anyways, thank you to everyone for listening to part 1 of the Ohio State Reformatory, because we will come back next week with part 2. Do not worry. For us, it's tomorrow. For y'all, it's next week. So be patient. Be patient. But thank you guys for listening to rambling about things I read on Reddit. Again, I am Brandon Amore. You can follow me on Instagram at brandon._.amore, TikTok at brandon._.amore, on YouTube at Brandon Amore, and it's easier to find the podcast on YouTube by looking up Rambling About Things I Read on Reddit, space Brandon Amore, because YouTube makes it hard to find people. So that's how you find me. What about you, Ronnie?
You can follow me on Instagram at Ronnie Granados, but who knows, that might change soon. And you can follow me on TikTok at Ronnie Red, RONNIIRED. Slay.
That's pretty much it. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to those of you who are subscribed, which, since these videos have been coming out, I don't see any new ones of you. So let's change that, because I can't change that. That's all your fault. So you have to do that. You also have to rate our podcast on Spotify positively.
Yeah, please.
If you have nothing nice to say, listen to another podcast. Like, there are so many podcasts out there that it's like, if you don't like this one, you can just not rate it badly and leave. Like, bye.
True.
Because, like, there are other people that you can enjoy. And if you don't enjoy me, fine. Just don't make it hard for me to get good ratings, though. I'm not saying anything weird.
Me when I was working for Uber Eats, for real.
Literally, like, don't fuck me up. Like, if you didn't like it, just find another way that I could help you. Because I'll do that. Just don't give me bad ratings.
Please, thanks, guys.
Please. Okay, anyways, later. Love you. Bye. We'll see you next week. Please take care. Don't forget to drink water. Don't forget to sleep at a reasonable time. And when I say reasonable time, I mean reasonable time for you. Not the reasonable Jesus. Not the reasonable time that people are telling you to sleep.
Truth. Speak on it.
Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Hearts.
We'll be back next week. We'll be back tomorrow, technically, but you'll be back next week. And we'll see you then.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.